different types of hairbrushes and how to use them. That's what we're talking about today. So I do have a range of my own hairbrushes. I'm going to be sharing with you how I use them, the best brush for certain like hair types and styles and things. And as a hairstylist for over 30 years, I have worked with a lot of different types of hairbrushes. And I know some of you may not be using hairbrushes, but they are essential to creating different types of looks. And it's not like they're really super expensive. There are outrageously expensive ones that I've purchased in the past, but that's why I created my own so that I can have something affordable and effective that I can use as a professional. So if you see a hairstyle like this, okay, let's just say you've got a beautiful layered haircut, and anytime I have a hairstyle to where it's, shoulder length, even longer than that, maybe to about here, just below the neck, I always use my 2.5-inch round brush. So this is you can see there's my logo right there. This is a TheSalonGuy. This is my ceramic ionic round brush. And I do have a 2-inch barrel, which I'll show you, but this is a 2.5-inch. This is what I would consider maybe like, I don't know, a medium brush, right? In my opinion, some may say it's large, but this to me is my favorite brush, okay? What I suggest doing and why I use a brush this size is because you're able to get the hair wrapped around the hair fully. And the important thing is being able to wrap it into the barrel like this. And also making sure that once you wrap it into the barrel, you can then extend it and have a good couple of turns. And what this is going to do and why I like this size is simply because I like to go around like this and then work it and keep working it and keep working it. And the one thing about my brush here that makes it unique is that the ceramic and ionic technology, it's healthier for your hair. You're gonna get a faster blow dry, a smoother blow dry, and it's gonna be less damaging to your hair when you're using the heat from the blow dryer. So the technology in the brush is amazing. And the next thing when it comes to using, so these bristles, it's not like they're the softest bristle. So some people have, said like, well, does that matter? What types of bristles? Well, first of all, you don't want to take a brush that's got more firm type bristles and bang it into your head, right? If you're like scraping your head constantly, you're not using the brush correctly. So as a stylist myself, I am very conscious of that, even on a mannequin head. I just don't want to start banging the head with the bristles. And yeah, I mean, it's not like they're the softest, but also I think it's not really an issue if you're using the brush properly. Next option is, with this hair length, is the classic boar head, the boar's head around with the bristles, right? Now this was and probably is, I don't know, I've had this for so many years, but this was a classic, really amazing brush with the boar hair bristles. And in my opinion, I've felt that sometimes it doesn't glide through the hair as easily, and sometimes it gets caught in here. And once the hair gets snagged into a brush, I have like a phobia of these types of brushes sometimes. So you have to make sure that if you're going to use something like a boar's hair brush or boar's hair bristle brush, you need to make sure that you're comfortable. And this is a professional brush too, but anyone can use this. But this is why I think a lot of people may try this, because I think the boar's hair is going to really just help smooth the hair out more and more. And in my opinion, I've noticed that it does really, it doesn't make that much of a difference in my opinion. All right, that's why I stopped using these, because I feel like I want the ceramic and the ionic technology with the brush so that I can kind of seal some of the heat in a bit more. But some have said this may be healthier for your hair, better for your hair, but this is an old brush. And I stopped using this years ago, but this is just another example. This is the same brush, but it's now a 2-inch. So I've got the larger size right here and the smaller size. Now, the reason I made this brush and went with this size in particular was simply because And especially for trending hairstyles like this, some people say, oh, you don't need a brush, just do it. But in my opinion, if you really want to work this hairstyle and you really want to have those flips, you need to use the brush. And while you're blow drying it, the best thing to do, what I like to do, is blow dry the hair all forward. But why I chose this particular size of brush and the barrel is because I'm able to, as you can see, work it around just enough where it's going to smooth the hair and also create somewhat of like a flip. Now I do this typically on wet hair, or damp hair as I'm blow drying, but you can see you get one good wrap around like this, and then as you blow dry it, it's long enough to stretch the hair like that, and now you can see those flips starting to work in, right? You can see that the hair is going to get some volume, and it wraps around the barrel very, very nicely, just like that. Then you use the blow dryer that I have, or any blow dryer, and you can then unwind. See how it wraps around about not even just a full, and then you wrap it out, and then there it is. There's all the fullness and the flip and that fluffy hair texture. So, I would always try to achieve stuff like this when using a brush this size. If you have more of a traditional type of layered haircut, right, like a feathered layered haircut, once again, that's where this comes in. I don't have a brush smaller than this. I know you can go smaller as far as the barrel size, but to me, this is a perfect size because I'm able to get the hair at least, getting it moving, wrapping it around the barrel lightly, not fully, because it's too short on top here. But I'm going to use this brush. This will be my go-to because I can get some lift, I can stretch the hair, and I'm able to create some movement and fullness. Once again, this is the 2-inch, and this is a smaller version of the brush that I have. Now, since we're on this hairstyle, a shorter hairstyle, and I'm going to actually show you this on a long hairstyle, but this is probably my favorite brush of all time. This is my anti-static vent brush. This is my mold now. It's my brush officially, and the great thing about this is the rubber handle. Because of the rubber handle, you're able to get a really, really good grip on the brush. So even though this may be plastic, if the handle was plastic, it'd be very slippery, right? It's rubber, so you got a really good grip. This brush is so versatile and unique. I would say, especially for shorter hairstyles like this, if you're, maybe you have a side part, maybe your hair's like 3-4 inches on top and you want something just to brush the hair out, this is considered a vent brush, but it's anti-static, which means that as you brush through the hair, you're not going to get all sorts of flyaways. Why? I think anyone who's got hair maybe like this length or a little bit longer, or really likes to work their hair, create like maybe you like to create like an arch or a poof kind of in the front. You're somebody who maybe wears a side part and you want to have like fullness in the front. You can use this to take the hair and kind of bend the hair and use the blow dryer. So you can see how the hair is bending right there. If I were to blow dry this, I would create a bit of an arch here. So this is an amazing styling tool, in my opinion. It's not just a brush. It's a styling tool and resource that's really going to help you get a lot of styles. And even like this, when I'm blow drying, and I've done this hundreds if not thousands of times on clients, is I'm able to lock in the hair at the root and blow dry it. So you really have a lot of versatility with a brush like this. When it comes to making sure that the hair is more smoothed out and a fuller look, that's when I'm going to go with something like this. But I will go to something like this if I'm trying to really shape the hair. Now, when using it on longer hair, this hair is obviously dry, but if you notice, there's no flyaway. No flyaways, no static. Typically, a normal brush, this thing would be flying all over the place, right? So when you have longer hair, and especially after you wash your hair, you maybe spray 25 spray in, and you need something to get through those knots, that's once again where this comes through. So 25 spray, you have a lot of knots, spray it in when the hair is damp, and then this brush will help you go through anything. The other option on longer hair is, this is what we call a paddle brush. You can see how wide this thing is. This really gets a lot more and covers a lot more ground, like so. This is great for doing, specific hairstyles. Maybe you're looking to do a ponytail. So this is a really good paddle brush. So it's good for styling and also detangling knots. If someone's got like really, really long hair, or you really want to get through those knots then this is also another great option. This is a wide tooth comb. As you can see through here, the teeth are very, very wide. So this is great for kind of combing out maybe curly hair, wavy hair, textured hair. You know, maybe you have longer hair and you don't want to feel any sort of knots or pulling when you're combing through the hair. So a wide tooth comb comes in very, very handy. But you can see, look at this, the static on this. And obviously the hair is dry, so you'd probably be doing it on like damp hair. But the difference is night and day. The flyaways are not happening because this is my anti-static vent brush. It's anti-static, right? So I'm able to brush through this and I'm taming the hair. I don't have all those flyaways as compared to this thing. Right away, it's like, boom, these hairs are going right to it and look at it, it's flying away. It's crazy how the hair just sticks to this. It's static. It's nuts. I have a wide tooth comb. This is a carbon comb. Doesn't have a handle on it, but this thing, listen to this. This is a solid comb. So if you're somebody who, and this is like, it's not fully anti-static, but if you're somebody who has longer hair, if you're maybe a male or somebody wearing like a pompadour type of style or a somewhat longer-ish hairstyle on top to where you want to see those waves or that feathered look, you know, or you want something just to comb through the hair, this helps create a softer, kind of wider shape that looks very, very natural. So it really is great for enhancing layers. It's great for combing the hair out. It's great for, you know, styling and shaping. If I were to use a super wide tooth comb like this, what happens is that's nice, and it's just a little bit softer. So the wider the teeth, the softer, and sometimes the more pronounced the layers are going to be because of the wider teeth. Okay, so it's creating a bit more separation. So if you want to tighten that up a little bit and not have it so wide, then this is where this may come in handy right here, this type of comb. And especially maybe if you're a guy and you're trying to style your hair a certain way, I wouldn't necessarily go with something like this. This to me is for, I would say, longer hair. And it's great for creating a beautiful, smooth, look how beautiful that is, right? So a nice accentuated shape with the layering. All these tools, except for maybe the paddle brush and some of the other brushes that I mentioned, they're not mine. But if you want to use any of the brushes that I have that are on my website, you can use code YouTube20 for 20% off at shop.thesalonguy.com. Once again, that's YouTube20, shop.thesalonguy.com. I also am very excited about my haircut guides. So if you want to learn more about haircutting shapes and what are haircut shapes and the best face shapes for those types of haircuts, they're only $10 each. I have one for men's hair, one for women's hair, and it's like anywhere between 17 pages to 28 pages for women. The women's ebook and the men's, I think, is like 17 pages, and it's just a really, really good downloadable PDF file. Anywhere in the world you can purchase it, and you get almost instant access to it right after you purchase it. Shop.thesalonguy.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.